Okay, in the following video, we're going to start working on the software expenses control sheet, so this sheet here, and we're going to end up with something that looks like this. Okay, so this is our starting point, and in here we're going to have data validation, so we're just going to follow through the comments. So there's a laptop, desktop and smart sales team, and just to let you know, I am limited to 10 minutes per video, so I'm probably going to have to do this in 2 videos, so it may stop abruptly, but there will be 2 parts. So anyway, data validation here for laptop, desktop and smart. So in here in our control sheet we type laptop, desktop and smart, and we use data validation. And we're allowing a list value, and by the way, I'm using Excel 2013, which is slightly different. It looks different, but the menus are basically the same. And then we have another drop down here for our personnel and the people on each team. So we're going to have a little table, laptop, and one drop down menu is going to be dependent on another drop down menu. So this is where we use the indirect, which you talked about the last day. Right, so it's the laptop team consists of Kevin, Brian and Sinead. The desktop team is Niall, Ryan and Mary. Niall, Ryan and Mary. And the smart team is Paddy, Breed and Colin. Right, so we can select this little table and go to formulas, create from selection, select the top row and click OK. So now each one of these is named accordingly. Niall, Ryan, Mary, desktop, Paddy, Breed, Colin, smart. So in here we use our indirect. Right, so data validation, allow a list value, and it's going to be is equal to indirect B2. And evaluates to an error, but as soon as I select a value here, right, I get the corresponding team in the second drop down menu. Alright, so in here must be in January, so again data validation, allow a date value between the 1st of the 1st and the 31st of the 1st 2014, and the input message must be in January. And if they input an incorrect date, we have error. Entry must be okay, so there we go. Receipt attached is just going to be yes or no. So I can create another list. Yes, no. And then data validation, yes or no. Let's go back to the list. The source is here. Expense type is drink, meal, entertainment, sporting event. So another list. Drink, meal, entertainment and sporting event. Right, so here we have our data validation again. So I'll have a list, and we'll just select this column. The reason for selecting the column is if I want to add in another event. So at the moment it's Drink Meal Entertainment Sporting Event. If I want to add in, for example, theatre, right, it will show up on my list because I've selected the entire column. Right, the expense cost must be less than or equal to 1000. Data validation is a decimal between 0 and 1000. Enter a value between 0 and 1. Okay, that's the message to the user. And then this is the error message in case of error. Right, so we're not paying out on anything above €1,000, and I can format that as currency. Start point is always going to be Waterford, and the end point, so when we're travelling, it's going to be only ever to Dublin, Cork, Limerick or Galway. Limerick and Galway, and just widen out the columns so that everything is viewable. Right, so endpoint, start point is Waterford, so data validation is a list, and it's going to be Waterford, and the endpoint is going to be Dublin, Cork, Limerick, Galway. Right, so the how far have you travelled? If Waterford Dublin, it's 160 kilometers, so is equal to if this is equal to Dublin, and then it's 160 kilometers. Right, so if it's Cork, it's 100 kilometers. So if F5 is equal to Cork, F5 is equal to Cork, then 100, close the brackets. Oops, 7 error. I need to put in comma. Right, so if I change this to Cork, the value should change to 100. If Limerick, it's 90 kilometers. F5 is equal to Limerick, and then it's 90. Put in an extra bracket. Limerick, and then the last is Galway, 200 kilometers. If F5 is equal to Galway, and close the inverted commas, and it's 200. Another error, forgot the comma, put in an extra bracket. Right, so there you have Galway. Right, so that's the first part. I'm going to pause it here, and we'll continue on then with the rest of the worksheet, putting in our formulas and formatting it and protecting the worksheet.